So people always ask me, what do different types of businesses make as far as revenue, right? It's important because if you're getting into a certain business, it's important to know what the average revenue model or even profit margin is in that business before you get into that business, before you make an investment, right? So a typical restaurant, right? When you look at a typical restaurant, food cost is about 30% of the operation. Employee cost is about 26 to 29% of the operation. Then you have the rent and maintenance and everything else, which really comes out to about a 10 to 15% on the average profit margin. Typical QSR restaurant, a quick service restaurant, does between $700 to $1.2 million in sales. So you can do the math as to what that 10% is or 15% of the profit may be. Typical QSR restaurant operates with 4 to 6 employees at a time, right? So you have a lot of part-timers and full-timers. Let's talk about another hot industry right now called the med spa, right? The med spa industry is blooming. It's just blowing up right now. Everybody's trying to get into the whole injectables, the testosterone, the hormone therapy, and all of that, right? So how much do those type of businesses make? So when you look at a med spa, a typical med spa roughly makes between $1.8 million, right? On the first year, you're probably going to do about $700,000 in sale, and then from there, you ramp up to reach that goal that I just mentioned. The profit margin on a med spa is a bit higher, depending on how you operate it, whether you have a doctor on board, the physician assistant, or a nurse practitioner, or you have anyone else that is somehow utilizing these people, maybe on the telemedicine services, or somehow as a medical director, depending on how you set this up, it's going to give you between 20 to 40% profit. So the profit margin is higher in these kind of businesses. Then you look at an urgent care center. So urgent care centers these days can be run by an individual as opposed to a clinician. There are corporate practice of medicine and things like that that needs to be handled with through an attorney, which we can talk about later. Those businesses typically do higher numbers. Urgent care centers can do as little as $600,000-$700,000 in sales, but typical urgent care centers do north of $2 million in sales on a yearly basis. And the profit margin there, again, depending on how you have it set up, it can be anywhere from 15 to 30% profit. This gives you some ideas of various businesses in various industries. Home service businesses, also the same thing. They can do about anywhere between $150,000 to $200,000 in profit, depending on which home service business you're selecting. So be careful about knowing the numbers before you enter into an investment. Good luck.